Hello, my name is Dr. Tan, and thanks for watching. We have Summoner Duels ranked coming up this Thursday, and we have plenty to talk about. So the map that is on for rotation is the one you're seeing on the right side, which is called Enclose, if I recall correctly. What you'll notice from this map here is how vertical it is and what the starting positions are. Everyone is going to be starting a little bit closer compared to everyone else. And with the walls on each of the on the corners of the map is essentially a little bit smaller compared to other maps. We have 4 forest tiles in this, like, kind of around the center choke point here of the forest central area. So we have a big choke point here that people are going to want to occupy very quickly. You're going to be seeing a lot more. Not versatility, what's the word for it? You're going to be seeing a lot more usage of allies that have supportive effects or penalty effects for 3 rows and 3 columns. But you're also going to notice that with how vertical it is, Summoner Thor is also going to have a lot more potency and a lot more. She's going to shine a little bit more on this map compared to other maps in the past. But we aren't going to really be seeing Summoner Thor that often on this map, and I'll get to that in just a minute. The bonus allies are Emblem Roy, Emblem Sigurd, and Legendary Camilla, with Emblem Sigurd and Legendary Camilla being as old as they are, and they're not really in the meta so much anymore, but Emblem Roy, being the most recent Emblem unit, is also a pretty decent Omni tank, and we're going to be seeing him plenty in this upcoming season. So on the left side, we do have my list of probabilities of heroes that you're probably going to be seeing, or less likely going to be seeing, on the upcoming SDR season. You'll notice that there is quite a large difference from the last time. I used to have Heimdallr, Harmonic Brave Lyn, Legendary Sakura, and Summoner Thor up there in the definitely tier. I have since moved them down, and I think that's because Omni tanks have really taken over the meta nowadays, rather than the high range, high damage nukes. And the reason being is that Omni tanks continue to get more and more damage reduction and more support, especially drive support and bonus statuses. And that's both of those combined makes it exceptionally difficult for high range nukes such as Harmonic Brave Lyn to take down. Though I did keep Alphador there at the top in the definitely tier, he has some of the best support in the game with his drive scowl effect, drive penalties, and the bonus duplication that he can apply onto allies, along with Shadow Shift. But the 4 main other heroes you're going to be seeing the most often in this upcoming map are Fallen Male Byleth, Emblem Roy, Harmonic Brave Micaiah, and Spring Soth. Spring Soth turns out is quite a monster. He aged considerably well with the introduction of the Rise Above, Instruct, and I think that Taker Burst skill, Speed Taker, or it's the new Inheritable Beast skill that comes with Summer Serena. He has been showing up quite a bit in favor duels, and with the right support and the right investment, he almost becomes unkillable. And I do want to go ahead and quickly talk about him real quick. So this is the build that you're going to be seeing the most often with Spring Soth. For those who don't know, True Bane comes with Omnifeud built into it, which isn't something that a lot of non-beasts have. Like the Dark Beast Force skills, or the Dark Beast Inheritable Slot Beast skills are present on beasts, but they are not present on, that's not available for any non-beast allies. So this being on a recent allies or recent hero such as Soth is quite unique. But he also has a great base stat total with the right and inheritance of Rise Above, and it's called Taker Burst. Yeah, attack speed, Taker Burst, and Instruct 4. He becomes a huge stat ball with a lot of damage reduction based off of speed, which is very hard to take down. I continue to run into this guy a lot in favor duels, and they just roll me over. I don't have an answer for this guy. So be on the lookout for this guy. I honestly think probably the best way to deal with him is probably Summoner Thor, but I could be totally wrong about this. This guy is quite a monster. So going back to the map, I do want to kind of talk about Summer Thor a little bit. So a lot of people will likely be putting Summer Thor in like the 5th starting position right here, or have some way to have her start in the 3rd starting position and then like warp to one of these spaces up here, reposition someone, and then move over towards the right somewhere. It's probably right here so that she can cover the most range of all these columns right here and effectively cover all of the spaces that the enemy team would occupy. And because of that positioning, dealing with Summer Thor can be quite difficult. So in my experience of dealing with Summer Thor on this map, best way to do that is essentially, it's kind of like, imagine yourself in the Battle of Helm's Deep. What you want is someone in the starting position right here at number 1 to be starting with the Emblem Corrin ring. So you start out with the icicle terrain within 2 spaces right here, creating this wall, which is hard to penetrate, along with the Divine Terrain Vert occupying even more spaces. So it requires a lot of effort for anyone to go in. So if you see Summer Thor position herself, you kind of want to hunker it in Helm's Deep, wait for them to use the Thor button, and then work your way out of there, while also trying to maintain good action economy and applying penalties mid-turn. Now that Summer Thor is kind of talked about, we also need to talk about a Mythic Adult Tiki. So Erosion is currently active as a captain skill this season, but it's not like you need her as a savior. She could also act as a Strat Assault bot, granting that true charge effect to her allies, while also protecting you from Summer Thor. Now, the reason why this is important to bring up is because Summer Thor typically has been able to run rampant in SDR unchecked, but now that Mythic Adult Tiki is here, players have to question, is it worth bringing Summer Thor in a scenario where I'm up against Adult Tiki? Because if Adult Tiki is there, it turns into a 4v5 scenario, and none of Summer Thor's positioning matters. So in which case, you have to make sure that Summer Thor is providing another kind of support, such as Favor support, or Strat Assault, or that Crux attune skill. But even then, that's kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for what Summer Thor can do. Oh, she also applies Stall, but I mean, it's not that important. There's ways around Stall with mid-turn penalty cleansing. But yeah, so what we're going to be seeing here in the upcoming meta is people are going to be considering to use Summer Thor, but they also are aware of Mythic Adult Tiki, sort of thinking, is it worth the risk to bring a Summer Thor against teams that might have Tiki, and in which case, I'm essentially fighting in a 4v5. And a 4v5 sucks all the time. But on top of that, what if the opponent is not bringing Summer Thor and you bring Mythic Adult Tiki? Well, Tiki is not going to be functioning as a savior, and you really don't want to have her running as a savior actually because of the possibility of having to deal with erosion. Because if the other team has erosion, then Tiki has become useless, and she won't be applying any Strat Assault to any of her allies. So it's a weird game of like mix up rock, paper, scissors before the game even starts. And I think because of that, a lot of people are starting to gravitate towards using Omni tanks or just all-out offense over kind of considering the Summer Thor meta. But you still will run into either one of these units because they're willing to take the gamble, and considering that perhaps the other 4 units are very well supported or just strong overall. Okay, so one other unit that I quickly want to touch is Harmonic Brave Tiki, or not Tiki, Harmonic Brave Micaiah. She has a lot of versatility on penalty inversion after start of turn effects, also applying sabotage and penalty effects mid-turn. If you do give her the Micaiah ring, then she can reapply those effects again, like twice per turn. She also has great warping, so you could grant her Soaring Guidance, Guidance 4, or Strat Assault, so that she's also a warp bot for the rest of her team, and while also applying penalties and action economy. So she becomes an all-around great versatile support ally, while also being a pretty decent nuke. One other hero that I do want to talk about here is Mythic Nerthus. The only reason why I haven't put her up in the Definitely tier is because not everyone has her. She's an older Mythic ally or Mythic hero. Not everyone, that plays Summoner Duels today was playing Fire Emblem Heroes back when she was released, and we only had one Binding Worlds ever since her release. So people may have had a hard time getting a hold of her, and not everyone wants to drop $60 into the game. Let's see, who else or should we talk about here? I think I want to talk about Bridal Heir. She, I think, continues to really show that how great of an ally she is. She provides action economy and mid-turn healing, and is also a flyer. Those advantages kind of place her above Emblem Micaiah in a way where she has a little more flexibility on movement and better support overall, because she comes with those inheritable slot B skills. I forget the name of it. I think it's like, it's not called dominance, but either way, anyways, it neutralizes foes' speed and defense bonuses during combat globally for all allies, and that's based off a resistance check, and she already has high resistance. Jormungandr did get released yesterday, and she comes with a new skill called Iron Fighter. So this Iron Fighter skill really did revolutionize high defense saviors in the game and kind of give them a bit of a renaissance. Before she came out, I did have another tier down here that was just Erosion Season LOL. But because of Jormungandr's release, I removed that tier and moved a bunch of these saviors up here, mainly Mythic Formortis, Legendary Black Knight, and Brave Ecthenir. I do want to talk about Brave Ecthenir real quick. So Brave Ecthenir with Iron Fighter does give a bit of renaissance for him as well, because his biggest weakness for sure was getting cheesed by reflexes. With Iron Fighter, if he meets the defense check, then he doesn't have to worry about getting hit by reflexes. In which case, the only real problem that he has got to be Arena Chrom, who has the slight possibility of beating his defense check. But if he's the only problem, then you can consider him a fairly strong ally, especially against like Mythic Nerthus, New Year's Balder, Emblem Roy, etc., etc. Let's see, who else is there to talk about? Oh, I did drop down Harmonic Brave Lyn for the reasons I stated earlier about Omni tanks being stronger nowadays. So when my initial testing with Lyn, I actually started finding it difficult for her to be able to take out the common Omni tanks that we're seeing up here. Byleth, Roy, Soth, and Nerthus were especially difficult to deal with when they had Might of the Myriads or Reversal. And Lyn, even with given all of those bonuses from like off of their Foresight Snare, Empathy, Attack Speed, Liberate, she was just having a hard time dealing with any of those threats. Most people don't have a plus 10 Lyn with like Instruct or Attack Speed Favor. Some do, but not the highest investment. But she's still going to be a threat. She's still going to be a problem to deal with. You have to make sure that she can't snipe your supports and then continue to just run away with the game. But as far as taking on any of the top Omni tanks up here, you're really not going to see her going to be able to take. You're really going to see that she's going to have a difficult time with all that. Heimdallr has also been dropped down. Foresight Snare doesn't really give too much benefit to Omni tanks nowadays, as more so like high offensive nukes that have low defense. It's really just meant as like one layer of protection so that your nuke can't get killed for some reason, but there's backline sniping that's possible. And the other thing is that if the nuke with Foresight Snare can't kill anything, then what's the point of having Foresight Snare? So that's the thing about why Foresight Snare is on a bit of the decline recently, because of the rise of Omni tanks. I did also move Legendary Sakura down a tier. A lot of the heroes up here kind of don't need Kanto to like high range Kanto, or they already come with high range Kanto. So she does act as a pretty good Ice Lock Byleth Ring refresher and with good buffs and such, but she's not like necessary as she used to be. I do want to quickly touch on Mythic Formortis and Chosen Legyarn. Mythic Formortis, just like Brave Ecthenir, got a huge buff with Iron Fighter. You probably won't see him too much in this upcoming SDR, but you might see him more in 3 weeks or so with the upcoming SDS. his niche, his gimmick is being able to cancel foes' turns upon surviving an attack. And Iron Fighter really helps make sure that happens. So making sure, giving that enablement to him so that he can cancel attacks he's always gonna appreciate something like that. Chosen Leg Yarn, I'm being told not to expect her a lot, but I think to be on the lookout for her, because what you can do is you can have Leg Yarn start here in the 5th slot, and what that does is that she's going to be occupying, well, her 3-row 3-column effect means that these rows right here through the middle of the map are going to be breaking any ice after start of the turn effects happen. A lot of people are going to be starting with their top unit right here in the 1st spot with the Emblem Corn Ring, which means that the icicle terrain right here and here and here are just going to be broken at the after start. Well, not on this forest tile, but here and here and here are going to be broken after starting a turn effects trigger. And that's going to give a lot of benefit for allies that need to have access to, like, they struggle with ice terrain. And those allies could be someone like Mythic Nerthus, for example. Okay, let's see. We'll take a quick poke at Fallen Male Byleth. He continues to be a menace in this game. People have found out that pair up is overall a better slot B skill for him because it increases the need for foes to meet the speed check to double him. His big thing is that he is fast, but if you can outspeed him, then it's pretty much over for him because his massive amount of damage reduction only happens on the first attack of each phase of combat. So if you can get past that, then he's much more easier to deal with. And then next up, I do want to talk about Halloween Freya a bit. So with Might of the Myriads being a captain skill, you could easily run her as a Omni tank, in which case you can also then give her the reversal seal or reversal captain effect and then the close combat seal. Or you can give her the Might of the Myriads captain skill and then just give her like any sort of skill that increases her health or attack and speed. But double reversal is a thing to look out for. Bonuses are a way to give yourself an edge over most matchups in the game, with Halloween Freya and New Year's Balder being that exception. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for what to expect for the upcoming SDR. If you found this information useful, or if you'd like to show some support, then please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and have a great day.